All right, today we're going to dive into one of the biggest shifts in military strategy we've seen in a generation. And no, it's not about a new fighter jet or some fancy new tank. It's about a whole new way of thinking, and it's all powered by artificial intelligence. Let's break down how this tech is completely reshaping the art of war itself.
And this really is the key question, isn't it? It's what military leaders all over the world are grappling with right now. When conflicts can literally unfold faster than a human can think, how on earth do you prepare your commanders? Because let's face it, the old playbook, it's becoming obsolete fast.
And here's why. We are now officially in the age of algorithmic warfare. Think about it. It's a battlefield where success is measured in microseconds, and the amount of information flooding in is it's impossible for any one person to handle. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is the new reality.
So to really get a handle on the solution, we've got to first break down the problem. The entire landscape of the battlefield has changed in a fundamental way. Okay, so for ages, the real brainpower behind India's military has been its system of professional military education, or PME. You can think of it as the advanced university for military officers. It's where they learn the high-level art of command, strategy, tactics, and leadership. But here's the problem, and it's a big one. There's a huge disconnect growing. Traditional PME, which was built around lectures and these slow manual war games, well, it was designed for a totally different era. It just can't keep up with the insane speed and complexity of modern AI-powered warfare. And that gap, it's becoming a serious vulnerability.
And that really gets us to the heart of the issue. The current playbook, the one that's been used for decades, is really struggling to keep pace with technology.
This quote from the source material just nails it. It's not good enough anymore to just teach people facts and historical case studies. The new goal has to be what's called dynamic decision cognition, basically training commanders how to think and make these incredibly high-stakes calls while teamed up with a powerful AI.
So what's the answer? Well, it leads to this. Honestly, a pretty radical new idea, treating AI not just as a tool you use, but as a genuine partner in the thinking process. So this next point is absolutely crucial. We're seeing a huge shift in the strategic goal. For years, the aim was information dominance, just having more data than the other side. But the new objective is decision superiority. Because who cares how much data you have if you can't use it to make smarter, faster, and, more ethical decisions than your opponent? And here's how AI actually pulls this off. In an instant, it can analyze dozens of potential plans. It can fuse all this intel from satellites, drones, cyber attacks into one clear picture. It can even simulate how your enemy is likely to react, showing you the weak spots in your plan before you've even made a move. And look, let's be super clear on this. This is not about robots taking over or automating command. The core idea, the guiding principle, is that AI acts as a cognitive partner. It enhances the commander's judgment. It doesn't replace it. The human is always, always in the loop. So you might be asking, okay, that sounds great in theory, but how does the military actually do it? Well, the source material lays out a really detailed solution, a 6-level structure called the AI-for-PME Framework. What's really cool about this proposed framework is how it scales. You can see how the jobs for the AI evolve. At the very top, the national level, AI is helping with grand strategy. But then, as you move all the way down to the brigade level, it's helping commanders on the ground with immediate tactical stuff, like figuring out the best way to allocate their resources in real time. It ensures that this AI-powered way of thinking is baked in from top to bottom. So what's the engine that drives this whole educational system? Well, it all comes down to this one number, 60. The whole framework is built around 60 critical thinking questions. Now, these aren't exam questions with a right or wrong answer. No, their whole purpose is to make officers think critically, to get them to really kick the tires on what the AI is suggesting, to compare it to their own gut feelings, and to constantly think about the ethical side of every single AI-assisted choice. Okay, but with all this incredible power comes huge responsibility, right? And that brings us to maybe the most important part of this whole conversation. How do you navigate the super complex ethical questions and the very real human challenges that pop up when you put AI right at the heart of military command? So the framework has these built-in, non-negotiable guardrails. First, the buck always stops with the human commander. They have the ultimate accountability. Second, the AI's logic has to be transparent. A black box AI is a total no-go.
And third, the data used to train these things has to be checked and double-checked for hidden biases. These aren't just suggestions, they're absolute must-haves.
You know, you might think the biggest challenge here is the tech itself, but it's not. The source material found that the real bottleneck, it's a human one. There's a major gap in AI knowledge among the faculty themselves, the very instructors who are supposed to be teaching this new way of war. So to tackle that, the proposal lays out this really clear, phased roadmap. They're not trying to boil the ocean here. It starts small, with pilot programs at a few key institutions. Then it expands into higher-level courses. And the endgame is to create a permanent, dedicated AI center of excellence to lead the charge. So when you put all of this together, what are we really looking at? Well, it's nothing less than a complete and, an inevitable transformation. And this final quote from the source material really says it all. This isn't a choice anymore. It's not a nice to have. For any modern military that wants to stay effective, weaving AI into its educational DNA is an absolute necessity for survival in this new era. And if you remember one thing from this explainer, let it be this. The ultimate promise here isn't to create robot commanders that do our thinking for us. It's to augment our own human intelligence, to make our ability to reason, to use our judgment, and to see what's coming next better than ever before. Which leaves us with a really deep question to chew on for the future. As this partnership between humans and machines gets deeper, and AI really does become a true cognitive partner in war, we have to keep asking ourselves, who or what is ultimately in command?